Hey everyone, I want to thank you for watching this video on the Landlord Survival Show. What I'd like to talk about are what are some of the most common mistakes that all of us as investors make. I know I personally have made a lot of these mistakes, and if I had not created a management company, I probably would still be making these. What I'm going to do is we're going to talk about some of these things because I think these are vital for you to be successful when it comes to managing your properties. So one of the first mistakes I think a lot of landlords don't understand and they make is that they don't understand their market. They don't know that when they buy a house, what will that house actually rent for? I know I used to always think it would rent for a lot more than what the numbers dictated, and guess what? After I bought the house and tried to market it, the house sat vacant for a lot longer than I had anticipated because of the fact that I did not look at the numbers and I did not believe the data. So it's very important to do the market research before you buy the property to make sure that your numbers match what you're trying to buy. Next thing a lot of landlords don't understand and mistakes that they make are fair housing laws. Number one, they don't take the time to learn what fair housing laws are, the discrimination classes, the equal housing rights, the Texas property code. These are all things that protect the tenants to make sure that they are protected when they're living in your house. So when you own a property, make sure that you take the time to educate yourself and learn what these laws are, because they will come back and bite you if you don't know what they are. Next thing are, when you do market your property, make sure you know what you can and cannot say. Make sure you know what you can and cannot ask of a tenant. Know that there are certain qualifications that you want to keep consistent, otherwise you could be construed as discriminating. So have written qualifications down, make sure that you follow them, and make sure that you don't deviate from those qualifications. One of the biggest challenges a lot of investors get into is that they maybe discriminate without knowing it by accepting one tenant, not accepting another, and they didn't even realize that they were considered discriminating. So this is important to know. Also, when you do find a tenant, make sure you do a thorough screening of that tenant. Do not go off of your gut feeling of what you think that tenant is doing, isn't doing. Do a background check, do the proper screening. I personally know that if you put the wrong person in your property, it will make your life horrible. So don't do what I did and just go off of your gut. Screen the tenant, go through the proper procedures. If you don't know of anyone that can screen, give me a call. I do have someone that I can introduce you to, and he can do the screening. This company can do the screening. But it's just important that you do it correctly and consistently the same time. Also, when you fill out the leasing paperwork, make sure that you fill it out correctly and make sure that it is done properly in a lease that is current with your state and the state laws. Also, I don't recommend that you put all these big scary things in your lease agreement that maybe could come back and bite you down the road because you put it in your lease. If you put it in the lease agreement, make sure that you are willing to enforce that. A lot of people put stuff in there and then they don't enforce it, and now they're considered voiding that contract. So make sure you know that. And I would say, last but not least, make sure that when you own a rental property, the biggest thing you need to realize is that you own a business, and you want to make sure that you are running it like a business. Take the time to set up proper policies and procedures and structure, and make sure that you know what those are so that as you're running your business, it is running correctly and efficiently. Many people get in trouble because they don't run it like a business, they run it like a hobby. And that is something that I'm trying to teach here on the Landlord Survival website, to make sure that you learn that you are running it like a business. If you want, you can download our book, The Ultimate Landlord Survival Handbook. We give a lot of information of how we manage over 1,000 properties. Again, this is just something that this is going to help you as a reference guide to make sure that you are doing things correctly. So this is Steve Rosenberg. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.